Hi everyone, today I'm going to be doing a review of the latest pre-order items for the Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid by Renegade Games. I've got everything here except the painted version of the Megazord figure, as I already have the original unpainted version from the original Kickstarter, and I felt it was a bit of a waste me getting the painted version, as I'm hopefully at some point going to paint mine. So here today I have the Fan Appreciation Pack, the Squat and Babu Character Pack, the Legacy Rangers Forever Ranger Pack, and the Villain Pack number 3, Legacy of Evil. So let's start with the Forever Ranger Pack. Get these out of the way. Okay, so this is the Legacy Forever Rangers Pack. This contains alternate sculpts of Mighty Morphin Red for Rocky, Mighty Morphin Yellow for Aisha, Mighty Morphin Black for Adam, and Mighty Morphin Pink for Kat. Because if you're familiar with the TV series, in Series 2, Jason, Trini and Zach had to leave to join the peace conference. So Rocky, Aisha and Adam were brought in. So we've got alternate sculpts for them. And in Season 3, when Kimberly left, Kat joined the team. So we've got another Pink. So that is why there is no alternate sculpt for the Blue Ranger, because Billy was never replaced. And also in this pack we get Alpha 5, which before this Alpha was only available in the original Kickstarter box, so people who haven't got that box can now get this. So we have different character cards for the 4 new characters, and we have brand new combat decks for all 5 figures. So let's open the box and have a look. This is just a leaflet advertising more of what's available by Renegade Games and the comics. Here we have the list of everything that's in there. So we've got 5 brand new figures, 5 character cards, 5 combat decks. We've got 6 Zord cards, because we also get the Power Blaster as a Zord card, and 2 Megazord cards. How to integrate them, introducing the new basic attack function, telling you about the replacement of the Rangers, information about how you can use the Legacy Ranger mode. This was first introduced with the Legacy pack for Tommy Oliver. That gives you all the information. And then here we have information about Alpha 5, because Alpha actually has 2 modes. You've got, in this version, you've got Servant of Zordon, and this is where Alpha 5 is actually controlled by a player. So a player will have his combat deck, will draw 5 cards, just like any other Ranger player would, except Alpha 5 just stays in the command center. His figure doesn't move about, but whoever is playing as Alpha 5 can use his cards to assist the Rangers, which we'll go into more detail as I go through his deck. And then you'll have autonomous support, where this is where you have Alpha 5 as a support character in the game, but no one is controlling him. So in this version you would draw 3 cards from his deck and leave them on a separate line for any Ranger to use at any time during gameplay. Here we have all the figures. Let's move this out of the way. So first of all, I'm going to start with the alternate sculpt of the Red Ranger. Just bring them in nice and close. Here we go. As you can see, now these seem a bit more shiny. I'll just bring in. This is the Red Ranger figure from the original base game. As you can see, there's a slightly different pose, and Rocky looks more shiny. There we go. Altogether, it's still a good sculpt. Go in. Next, Aisha is the Yellow Ranger, looking ready to attack. And again, here is the comparison with Trini from the base game. I'll just get him into focus. Come on, focus. Next up is Kat with the alternate sculpt for the pink Power Ranger. And here is Kim's from the original base game. You see, just slightly different, but still a good sculpt. And we have Adam with the power axe in blaster mode. And if you're familiar with this game, you'll notice that his pose is similar to that of the Mastodon sentries from the Shattered Grid. And here we have Zach's figure from the base game. See, really good sculpt. And last but not least, we have one of my favourite characters, Alpha 5, going ay 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 ay. Let's just bring in Alpha 5 from the Kickstarter box. You can see it's a more everyday pose. But what I really like about the new sculpt is, if I can get it to focus enough, can't quite, maybe I'm too close, but this Alpha 5 has got lines in his visor, whereas the original is just plain. So I really like this sculpt, so when I play I may use this one more often. We have brand new combat decks for all 5 figures. This is Alpha 5's brand new deck. So we've got Battle Teleport, where you can move any ranger from the command center to another location without that ranger having to use an action token. Combat Protocol, another ranger may perform an attack with 2 dice. That ranger may choose to either re-roll any number of dice during that attack or gain 1 energy. Coordination, which is a reaction. Play this card before another ranger performs an attack. Add 1 die to that attack. That ranger may return that card to their hand instead of discarding it. Energy Barrier, which is another reaction. Play this card when any ranger suffers damage. Roll 3 dice. Reduce that damage by the number of hits results rolled. Team Effort is another reaction. Play this card after any ranger plays an attack card with an energy cost of 0. Another ranger may immediately play 1 card. And Zord Maintenance, which is a maneuver. Gain 1 energy, ready 1 exhausted card of your choice. So all 10 cards are a good way for Alpha 5 to support the rest of the players whilst they're in battle. His cards do have shield values, and they really only come into effect when you're using the Legacy Ranger mode, because if you want, you can combine this deck with the original Billy deck, as Alpha 5 and Billy work closely together. Here we have Aisha's card. Still has the Blade Blaster as found in the original deck, You've got double up. Any ranger may search their deck, discard their deck and discard pile for 2 cards with the same name and add them to their hand. If they search their deck, they must shuffle it. Griffin Strike, which is in reference to the Griffin Thunder Zord. After you resolve this attack, you may draw 1 card. If you do, you may immediately play 1 card with an energy cost of 0. Power Daggers, which is the same as the original deck. Snap Kick, add 1 die to this attack if this card was not the first card played during this turn. Unstoppable Force, play this card when any ranger defeats an enemy card. Remove all excess hit tokens on that card and gain that much energy. So that's Aisha's. This will be Rocky's deck. Again, Blade Blaster's the same. Here we have a new card, Haymaker. Add 1 die to this attack for each shield on the top card of your discard pile. Power Sword is the same as Jason's. We have Risky Moves. Suffer up to 3 damage. Another ranger may immediately play 1 card. If it is an attack, add a number of dice to that attack equal to the amount of damage you suffered. Square Up, play this card at the end of any turn in battle. If you suffered damage during this turn, gain 1 energy and place this card on top of your deck. Sturdy Blow has a special. When this card is revealed for defense, it gains 1 extra shield. So if it's revealed for defense, it becomes 2 shields. Here we have Cat's deck. Agile Shot, when this card is revealed for defense, you may swap it with a card from your hand. Apply the shield value of that card instead. Blade Blaster is the same. Cat's Grace, reveal the top card of your deck. If it is an attack, you may immediately play it and add 1 die to that attack. You may place this card on the bottom of your deck instead of discarding it. Fancy Footwork, play this card when any ranger suffers damage, gain 1 energy. That ranger may look at the top 2 cards of their deck and place each card on the top or bottom of their deck in any order. Power Bow is the same as Kim's. Tai Chi Combo, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Place each card on the top or bottom of your deck in any order. And now we have Adam's deck. Again, Blade Blaster is the same. Cosmic Cannon, while this card is the top card of your discard pile, ignore the guard keyword when choosing targets for your attacks. Exploit Opening, play this card when another ranger defeats an enemy card with an attack. Deal 1 damage to the enemy card adjacent to that target. Leapfrog Strike, while this card is the top card of your discard pile, gain 1 energy each time you perform an attack. Power Axe is the same as Zack's. Rapid Hit, after you resolve this attack, perform a second attack with 1 die. Whilst this card is the top card of your discard pile, add 1 die to each of your attacks. So that is all of the combat decks. What you can do is you can mix and match the Mighty Morphin cards. So if you want, you can have a mixture of both Black Ranger decks or both Pink Ranger decks. So it gives you more variation on what you can do. Here we have the Zord cards. Now with this pack we get the Thunder Zords and the Mega Zords. So here we have Red Dragon, where it's exhaust this card when any ranger performs an attack, add 1 die to that attack. Any ranger may discard 1 card to add 2 more die to that attack. Here we have the Lion Thunder Zord. Exhaust this card during any ranger turn in battle. Defeat 1 foot soldier instead of playing a card. Firebird Thunder Zord. Exhaust this card, shuffle any ranger's deck, then reveal the top card of their deck. Gain an amount of energy equal to that card's shield value. Unicorn Thunder Zord. Exhaust this card, choose a number of cards in ranger discard pile with a total of 4 shields. Place those cards on the top of their respective rangers' decks in any order. Griffin Thunder Zord. Exhaust this card after any ranger plays a card. that ranger may immediately play another card with the same name. That ranger may draw one card. Here we have the Thunder Megazord. Each time any ranger performs an attack, that they may re-roll any number of dice. So we've got one new Megazord. Here is the Power Blaster, so the main 5 rangers' weapons combined. Once per ranger turn in battle, any ranger may discard a card to place 1 hit token on this card, maximum of 5. Exhaust this card at the end of a battle to remove all hit tokens from it and roll an equal number of dice. Deal that much attack divided as you choose among enemy cards. That's a nice alternative to actually having a Zord. Here we have the Mega Tiger Zord, so we get a second Megazord, and this is exhaust this card to place the Megazord token in any location. At the end of each battle in that location, roll 5 dice, deal that much damage, divided as you choose among the enemy cards. Okay, now onto the character cards. Here we have Alpha 5, and this is his playable character version, Mission Control. And this is whilst your figure is in the command center, you may participate in battles taking place in outer locations. If you do, you are not considered to be in the battle for the purpose of enemy card effects. So enemy cards cannot target Alpha 5. He also has a second side, which is his non-playable variant character, Autonomous Support, which is a friend in need, which is at the start of each round, reveal cards from the Alpha 5 deck to refill the row, maximum of 3. Any ranger may discard 1 card from their hand to play an Alpha 5 card from the row. After resolving it, place it on the bottom of the Alpha 5 deck. So he is a nice character to use. Here we have Aisha Campbell's card with Momentum. Once per battle, after you defeat an enemy card with an attack, gain 1 energy. Cats with Agile. When you suffer damage before you reveal a card for defense, you may look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put them back in any order. Adam with Adaptable. Once per battle, you may swap a card from your hand with the top card of your discard pile. And then here we have Rocky with Bravery. When you reveal a card for defense, if that card would be placed on the bottom of your deck, you may add it to your hand instead. Another thing to mention, these 4 character cards are actually the same cards as you would have got as a stretch goal from the original Kickstarter. So if you already have the Kickstarter box, you'll already have these 4 character cards. But the Alpha 5 character card that comes in the Kickstarter is actually different to these, because as this is a more updated version of him. So that is everything from this Legacy Ranger pack. Pop these away. Next, I'll be looking at the Villain Pack number 3. So this is the 3rd pack where you get just villains, and we have Piranha's Head, King Sphinx, Thrax, Terratoad, and Divatox. Inside are figures. So here we have the introduction that just tells you what's in there, how to integrate into the existing. Clarification, like, because Terratoad has the ability to steal some cards, so it tells you how to do that. And also in this deck, in this box I mean, we have replacement cards for Pudgy Pig and Rita Repulsor from the base game, as their cards have been updated to make it easier for game flow. So we'll look at those a bit later. Just another leaflet advertising. So here are the figures. Move the box to the side. So here we have the monster figures. Here is Terratoad. He's quite a weighty figure because he's so big. As you can see, He's a nice, got super detail. Look at all these little bumps. His tongue that sticks out. Look, oh, I should put my finger behind it. See? Quite nice. Come out here is Piranha's head. I don't know if you can see it, but his mouth is quite deep. So they've gone really nice. You can actually gaze into his mouth. He's got his chain with his fish nunchuck things, his tail. Here we have the Viva La Diva herself, Divatox. Nice small figure. She's the lightest of this pack. Nice dynamic function on the cape. Here we have Thrax, who is the son of Rita Repulsa and Lord Zed from the 15th anniversary episode in Operation Overdrive. And last but not least, we have King Sphinx. One thing I'd like to point out is look at the detail on his wings. Look, all the layering. This is the best wings I've seen, because we also have Poluticorn and Goldar and Mega Goldar, but look at the layering they've done on the feathers and on the back. Not as clear layering, but really good. Here we have the combat decks for the new monsters. So we have King Sphinx with Cobra Beam. Deal 4 damage to each half of the rangers in this battle, round up. So if you're playing with 5 players, 3 of the rangers will receive damage. Gale Force Wind, remove 1 ranger from this battle and move their figure to the next location clockwise. That ranger must discard their entire hand. So that's portraying when King Sphinx could use his wings to remove the rangers from battle. Scepter Barrage, deal 2 damage to a single ranger 4 times. So this attack happens 4 times. Sphinx Slam, deal 5 damage to the ranger who... Deal 5 damage. The ranger who suffers this damage must discard 1 card from their hand. That's King Sphinx. Now we have Piranha's head with his Chumchucks. Deal 4 damage to each ranger with at least 1 Zord card. If no Zord cards are in play, deal 2 damage to each ranger instead. Hijack Attack, deal 4 damage to each to half of the rangers in this battle, round up. Increase this damage by 1 for each Zord card in play. Powerful Current, exhaust all Zord cards in play. If 1 or fewer Zord cards were exhausted this way, deal 3 damage to each ranger. Zord Lockdown, while this card is in play, rangers cannot use Zord abilities. That's just like in the start of Season 2 when Piranha's head actually took control of the Zords. Here we have Terratoad with Horn of Hunger. While this card is in play, each time a ranger attacks Terratoad, seal the top 2 cards of their deck. Shuffle those cards back into their decks when this card is defeated or when the battle ends. Swallow Whole, steal 4 cards from the ranger with the most cards in their hand. Return those cards to that ranger's hand when this card is defeated or when the battle ends. Time to Croak, deal 1 damage to each ranger. Increase this damage by 1 for each combat card currently stolen by Terratoad. Tongue Lash, drain 1 energy, deal 5 damage. Any cards discarded for defense are stolen instead. Return those cards to the discard piles when this card is defeated or at the end of battle. And now we are on to the boss cards for Divatox. So we have Depth Charge. While this card is in play, after each ranger attack resolves, deal 1 damage to that ranger. Increase this damage by 1 for each miss result rolled during that attack. Eye of Chaos, roll 1 die. On a miss result, drain 3 energy. On a hit result, deal 3 damage. On a double hit result, do both. Fire the torpedoes, or fire torpedoes. 2 different rangers must discard the bottom 2 cards from their deck. Pirate Queen, whilst this card is in play, all foot soldier cards gain the guard keyword and gain 1 health. Viva la Diva, deal 4 damage to each half of the rangers in this battle round up. Increases damage by 1 for each Divatox card that has been defeated or discarded. And now we have Thrax with Curse of Doom. Whilst this card is in play, after each ranger combat card resolves, deal 3 damage to that ranger. That ranger may spend 1 energy to prevent the damage. Hideous Blow, deal 4 damage to the ranger with the most cards in their hand. Increase this damage by 1 for each card in the ranger's hand. Implosive Wave, drain 3 energy. Each ranger must either discard 1 random card from their hand or discard the top 2 cards from their deck. Lightning Beam, deal 10 damage divided amongst the rangers as they choose. Void Burst, deal 6 damage to each ranger. Reduce the damage that each ranger suffers by 1 for each card in their discard pile. And now we have the deployment cards. Here we have the deployment card for King Sphinx, Piranha's Head, Terratoad, Divatox, and Thrax. That's those cards. And also, as I said earlier, we get replacement cards for Pudgy Pig and Rita Repulsor. So the replacement cards we've got are I'm Hungry and Voidbind. I'll just pop these down here whilst I grab these. So the I'm Hungry cards are actually replacing the Ravenous Hunger from the early prints of the base game. So mine came from the original Kickstarter, so I've got an early print. So as you can see, the energy is still the same. The name has changed, except it's now it's lost the passive keyword. And the original card was, whilst this card is in play, rangers cannot play cards with an energy cost greater than 0. The new card, which is now fast, is drain 2 energy. Each ranger must discard from their hand the card with the highest energy cost. When this card is defeated, each ranger may return 1 card from their discard pile to their hand. So that makes it a bit easier, as the original card limited you to just playing 0 or X amount. No, just 0 cards. So that he was quite, if this card was out, it was quite hard to defeat. And Void Binding from this box is replacing Shadow Binding. So again, it's the same health, same keyword, but the original card read, deal 3 damage to the ranger with the most cards in their hand. That ranger must discard their entire hand. The new card reads, deal 5 damage to the ranger with the most cards in their hand. That ranger must discard all but 1 card from their hand. So it's making it easier, so a ranger's not completely out. He still gets 1 card left. So that is Villain Pack number 3. Get these moved out of the way. So the last box is the Squat and Babu character pack. Now this is the smallest box. It's the same size as the Bulk and Skull character pack. In this box we get more leaflets, the introduction to the characters. These guys also have a paired monster which was first introduced in Villain Pack number 2, which was the Machine Empire, because Prince Gasket and Prince Archerina could come out as a paired character. So that tells you more about that. Get them out. Here we have Squat, the Squat figure. It's got really good detail, all his lumps and bumps, his blunderbuss, his sack. Here is Babu, the space or spider monkey, with his bottle of potion. And here we have their combat decks. So here we have blunderbuss for Squat. Each ranger must roll 2 die, deal 3 damage to each ranger for each miss result that ranger rolled. I have an idea, each ranger must draw 3 cards. I'm not reading that. Whilst this card is in play, the effect text on all ranger attack cards is ignored. Shoot, 2 rangers must play a game of rock, paper, scissors, deal 3 damage to the winner, 6 damage to the loser. Now on to Babu. Awful Alchemy. The ranger with the most cards in their deck must guess the shield value of the top card, then discard it. If they guessed wrong, repeat this effect until they guess right or are defeated. Pick your poison. Drain 2 energy. The ranger who most recently drank something must discard either 2 cards from their hand or 2 cards from the top of their deck. Punk Potion. Whilst this card is in play, rangers cannot use abilities or card effects to affect rangers other than themselves. Scapegoat. When this card is defeated, instead of discarding it, place it at the bottom of Babu's deck, then draw another card from Babu's deck and replace it in the combat sequence. And here we have the deployment cards. So here's Squat, there's Babu, and this is the one where you get Squat and Babu at the same time. So that is the Squat and Babu character pack. This was the smallest one from this lot. And last but not least, this is the fan appreciation pack. Now this came free with the current pre-orders. I've already checked, and at this moment in time, this fan appreciation pack is not available on the Renegade website, but it may become available during the next Kickstarter campaign, which will launch, I believe, the 22nd of June. So at this moment, you can't buy this, but it may be an add-on in the future. So we flip it over, we can see what's inside. So inside we have the scenario book, which contains the first 13 scenarios. So that's the first 12-month free scenarios plus the introduction, because you can get all the scenarios for free and download them off the Renegade website. But in this, you've got the first year's worth in this book. And we get 2 Megazord cards, where it's actually the Titanus Zord and the Ultra Megazord. We get 8 Megazord tokens, so you can use different tokens depending on which Megazord you are choosing to play with, instead of either using the Megazord figure or the token that came with the base game. We get a bunch of extra tokens for 4 of the scenarios. So we get 8 patch tokens for the Halloween scenario. We get 6 present tokens or gift tokens for the Christmas scenario. 6 life tokens, I can't remember what scenario they're from, and then the 5 Zeo crystal tokens from the Zeo scenario, which is about them gaining the Zeo powers. And then we have a whole bunch of extra card dividers for the card storage box, in case you want to divide your cards more into smaller packs, and another sheet of divider labels, so you can label these dividers. So let's have a look inside. There we go. Let's start with the card dividers. So this is just another pack of two-sided dividers. So we've got the monster dividers, so we've got Eye Guy on this side, and on the opposite side we've got Pumpkin Wrapper, Pudgy Pig and Archerina. We get all these extra monster dividers. And then got the Boss Master dividers, where you've got Master Vile and a bit of Billy on this side. On the opposite side you've got Rita Repulsor, Cyclopsis and Rita Revolto. You get a few of those, and then we get a lot more Ranger dividers. So we've got Green Ranger on one side, on the opposite side we've got Pink Hyperforce, the Dragon Shield Red Ranger and Black in Space Ranger. So you've got all these extra dividers for the card storage box. Got two brand new cards. I'll show them this way round. So we get Titanus, which is exhaust this card, deal 2 damage to an enemy card of your choice. And then we also get the Ultra Zord, which is the final Zord mode for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And this is once per turn in battle, any ranger may exhaust one Zord card to deal 3 damage to an enemy card that has resolved. So this is a way to clear cards that have already attacked. This is just a leaflet advertising it, other figures in the comics. Put the scenario book to one side. This is all the tokens that you get on a punch sheet, so you can punch them all out. So you've got the Zords, the life tokens, Zeo tokens, pumpkin tokens and the gift tokens. That's the sticker sheet. Yeah, don't know if you can see it, but you've got all the little stickers you can punch out in all different colours. And then the biggest thing, this is the scenario book, which, as I said earlier, contains all of the first year's worth of scenarios, including the scenario 0, which is the introduction, which gives you easier rules to help introduce new players. So on here, as you can see, scenario book has been done in foil, which is a really nice touch. And we have some super putties, Lord Draken, Rita Repulsor and Goldar in the background. And on the front cover we've got Mighty Morphin Red, Mighty Morphin Black, Mighty Morphin Green, Hyperforce Black, In Space Blue, Zeo Gold, Mighty Morphin Pink and Hyperforce Yellow. Inside we've got some artwork. This is the artwork from the Shattered Grid expansion pack. We've got Pumpkin Wrapper, which was seen on the Kickstarter pack. Information about the scenarios, table of contents. So here we've got scenario 0, it's Morphin Time, introductory scenario, help introduce new players to the game. And then we've got all these other scenarios. I'm not going to read them all, but if you want you can pause the video as I go through. So here we have the introductory scenario. This is just to help introduce new players to the game, so you get little changes in the rules to make it a little easier. You also got like the ending, so what they have to do to win, what to lose, any changes to the rules. We've got Cyclopsis artwork here. And we got scenario 1, which mainly focuses on the Shattered Grid expansion pack. Halloween Havoc, where you got Pumpkin Wrapper and you use the patch tokens with this one. Mighty Morphin Mix Up, which is where the Rangers could change colour, which did feature in the comics. Christmas Chaos, which will use the gift tokens. The Hidden Zords, just a short one. Zeo artwork there. Dark Horde, which gives you a little variation on the location tiles that are on the outer side. Double Trouble, so I believe this is the one, yeah, where you can get multiple. I'm just reading it. Yeah, can't fully remember this one without reading it properly. Goldar's Revenge, so this is a scenario built in for the Mega Goldar figure, so you do need the Kickstarter, and it's where you've got Finster, Scorpina, and Mega Goldar, so whoever's running the game, you've got lines that you can say. It's a nice touch. Stronger Than Before, which uses the Zeo tokens, so this is about the Rangers transitioning from Mighty Morph into Zeo. Ranger Rescue, which focuses on you rescuing the other Rangers that aren't being played. Assault on Lord Draken, this is a more of a story-based version. Rangers Reforged, again this is another scenario. And here we have some other artwork. So we've got the Mega Voyager mega ship from In Space, and we've got the cover which you'll recognise from the In Space expansion pack. And then on the back we've got Madam Woe with Billy. So that is everything from this pack. Let me know what you think.